What if I told you that the wealthiest people throughout history discovered their most profound secrets, not in boardrooms or marketplaces, but in the mysterious realm of sleep? Tonight, you're about to uncover an ancient manuscript that has been hidden for centuries, a book so powerful that it was considered forbidden by those who sought to keep true wealth concentrated in the hands of the few. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching. From today, it's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. This isn't about cryptocurrency, stocks, or any modern investment strategy you've heard before. This is about something far more profound and infinitely more accessible, the sacred art of attracting abundance while you sleep. Has this ever happened to you? You've worked tirelessly during the day, pursuing financial goals with relentless determination, yet somehow prosperity remains just out of reach. Meanwhile, you've probably heard stories of entrepreneurs who received their breakthrough ideas in dreams, or investors who made their most profitable decisions after a good night's rest. What you're about to discover might surprise you. This isn't coincidence, but the result of an ancient covenant between consciousness and prosperity that most people never learn to access. In temples where golden coins once sang lullabies to sleeping merchants, there existed a sacred understanding that sleep wasn't simply rest for the body, but the gateway to infinite abundance. These ancient wisdom keepers knew that when the conscious mind surrenders to slumber, something miraculous occurs. Our subconscious becomes a powerful magnet for wealth, drawing opportunities, ideas, and synchronicities that would never appear to our waking awareness. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn will fundamentally change how you view both sleep and money. Imagine if every night, instead of simply resting, you could be actively programming your mind for financial success. Picture yourself waking up not just refreshed, but somehow more aligned with abundance, more magnetic to opportunities, more intuitively guided toward profitable decisions. The truth is, your dreams are not random neural firings as modern science would have you believe. They are actually the universe's most sophisticated communication system, a direct line to the field of infinite possibility where all wealth originates. While your body rests, your consciousness can be actively negotiating with the quantum field, planting seeds of intention that sprout into real-world prosperity. This forbidden knowledge explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract money, while others struggle despite their best efforts. It's not about intelligence, education, or even hard work. It's about understanding how to align your sleeping mind with the frequencies of abundance that surround us every moment. The ancient traders and merchants who built the greatest empires of the past weren't just skilled in commerce. They were masters of this sacred art, turning their bedchambers into prosperity temples and their dreams into blueprints for wealth. Now, for the first time in centuries, these secrets are being revealed to anyone ready to discover the most powerful force for attracting wealth that exists: your own sleeping consciousness. The transformational wisdom we share here goes beyond surface advice. If you value content that creates real change, subscribing ensures you catch every breakthrough technique I reveal. The transformation begins when you understand that your sleeping mind operates on an entirely different frequency than your waking consciousness. During those precious hours of rest, your brain shifts into what ancient sages called the magnetic state, a condition where your subconscious becomes incredibly receptive to attracting exactly what you've been seeking. This isn't New Age speculation. It's a hidden truth that the most successful individuals throughout history have quietly practiced behind the scenes. Think about the most pivotal decisions in your life. How many of them came to you after a good night's sleep? How often have you gone to bed with a problem and awakened with the perfect solution? This happens because your sleeping mind has access to information and connections that your rational, analytical, waking mind simply cannot perceive. It's operating on what we might call the prosperity frequency, a vibrational state where opportunities, insights, and synchronicities naturally gravitate toward you. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that most people are unconsciously repelling wealth during sleep. Their minds are cluttered with worry, stress, and scarcity programming that creates a magnetic field of lack. Every night, instead of attracting abundance, they're actually reinforcing their financial limitations at the deepest subconscious level. But once you learn to shift this magnetic polarity, everything changes. The ancient practice that unlocks this power is something I call the golden thread meditation, a technique so elegant yet profound that it seems almost too simple to be effective. Yet those who master it report extraordinary results, unexpected income streams, brilliant business ideas, and what can only be described as miraculous financial opportunities appearing in their lives. This meditation involves weaving invisible golden threads between your current financial reality and your desired abundance, creating an energetic network that spans the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Picture yourself lying in bed just before sleep takes hold. In this liminal space between waking and dreaming, you begin to visualize luminous golden threads extending from your heart center. Each thread represents a specific financial goal, a particular dream, or a desired outcome. You're not forcing these threads into existence. You're simply becoming aware of connections that already exist in the quantum field of infinite possibility. One thread might connect you to your ideal income level, another to a perfect business opportunity, and yet another to the mindset shift that will transform how money flows into your life. As you practice this technique night after night, these threads strengthen and multiply, creating an intricate web of prosperity that begins to reshape your reality from the inside out. The impact extends far beyond your finances. Your entire relationship with abundance begins to evolve. What makes this practice so powerful is that it bypasses all the mental resistance and limiting beliefs that normally sabotage our financial growth. When you're in that drowsy state just before sleep, your analytical mind isn't there to argue or doubt. Your subconscious is wide open, ready to accept new programming and possibilities. You're essentially reprogramming your internal wealth magnet while your conscious defenses are down. The journey of mastering this ancient art requires patience and consistency, but the rewards are extraordinary. People who practice the golden thread meditation report not just increased income, but a fundamental shift in how opportunities present themselves. They begin to notice things they never saw before, meet people who open new doors, and find themselves in the right place at the right time with increasing frequency. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic and reveal the specific steps that transform this meditation from a simple visualization into a powerful, wealth-attracting force. The key lies in understanding how to encode your intentions with the precise emotional frequency that the universe responds to most powerfully. The emotional frequency I'm referring to isn't something you can fake or manufacture through willpower alone. It emerges from a place of genuine feeling, and this is where the most successful wealth builders discovered something remarkable about the nature of sleep itself. A wealthy financier once shared with me a revelation that completely transformed my understanding of how money actually grows in our lives. He called it the compound interest of dreams, and once you grasp this concept, your entire approach to both sleep and abundance will never be the same. This financier had built his fortune not through complex investment strategies or insider knowledge, but through a simple practice he stumbled upon during his darkest financial period. Every night before sleep, he would plant what he called intention seeds in his subconscious mind. These weren't just wishful thoughts or desperate prayers for money. They were precisely crafted mental images, infused with the feeling of already having achieved his financial goals. What he discovered was that these intentions didn't just sit dormant during sleep, they actually multiplied and compounded throughout the night. Just as money grows through compound interest in the physical world, these planted thoughts earn what he termed dream interest during every hour of rest. Your subconscious mind works tirelessly while you sleep, processing, connecting, and creating neural pathways that align your entire being with the prosperity you've seeded before closing your eyes. Each REM cycle becomes like another interest payment, strengthening and expanding your wealth consciousness at the deepest possible level. The transformation becomes even more profound when you understand what's happening behind the scenes during this process. Your brain is literally rewiring itself for abundance, creating new neural networks that will automatically recognize and attract opportunities when you're awake. It's as if you're programming a sophisticated computer system that runs in the background of your life, constantly scanning for wealth-generating possibilities that match your program specifications. But here's where many people encounter their greatest obstacle, and it's the same barrier that almost destroyed Marcus, a man whose journey from devastating poverty to extraordinary prosperity illustrates the most crucial aspect of this entire process. Marcus had learned about dream programming and tried desperately to plant seeds of abundance in his mind each night. Yet month after month, his financial situation only worsened. He was on the verge of losing his home when he discovered the hidden truth that had been sabotaging his efforts all along. The problem wasn't with his technique or his consistency, it was that his subconscious was simultaneously filled with deep-seated financial fears and scarcity programming that had been installed during childhood. Every positive intention he planted was immediately contaminated by underlying terror about money, worthiness issues, and ancestral patterns of lack. It was like trying to grow flowers in soil poisoned with toxins. No matter how beautiful the seeds, they couldn't thrive in that environment. Marcus's breakthrough came when he learned to use sleep not just for planting new intentions, but for dissolving the old programming that was blocking his abundance. Through a process he called sacred surrender, he began each night by consciously releasing every fear, doubt, and limiting belief about money into the vastness of sleep. He would literally feel these toxic thoughts and emotions dissolving as he drifted toward unconsciousness, creating clean, fertile ground where his prosperity intentions could finally take root. When content stirs something deep and opens new possibilities, hitting like is your way of saying yes to this path and helping fellow seekers find these insights. The impact was immediate and undeniable. Within weeks of beginning this practice, unexpected opportunities began appearing in his life. Within months, he had tripled his income. Within a year, he had achieved a level of financial freedom that had previously seemed impossible. The key was understanding that sleep isn't just about rest and recovery, it's about transformation and renewal at the deepest level of your being. Now, I want to reveal the specific technique Marcus used to clear this mental and emotional debris that keeps most people trapped in financial limitation, regardless of how hard they work or how positive they try to think during their waking hours. The technique Marcus discovered begins with something as fundamental as breathing, yet it operates on principles that most people never realize exist. Behind the scenes of every successful wealth attraction practice lies a simple truth. Your breath is the bridge between your conscious intentions and your subconscious programming. When you learn to breathe in specific patterns just before sleep, you're essentially tuning your entire nervous system to the frequency of abundance. This isn't just about relaxation or stress reduction, though those benefits certainly occur. The ancient prosperity breathing pattern Marcus learned follows a precise 7-4-8 rhythm that literally synchronizes your brainwaves with what researchers are now calling abundance frequencies. When you inhale for 7 counts, hold for 4, and exhale for 8, something extraordinary happens in your neural architecture. your brain begins producing the exact combination of alpha and theta waves that successful people naturally generate when they're in their most creative and receptive states. The transformation occurs because this breathing pattern doesn't just calm your mind, it actually reprograms your autonomic nervous system to expect and attract prosperity. Each cycle of this breathwork is like sending a signal to your subconscious that abundance is not only possible, but inevitable. Your entire physiology shifts into what I call the receiving mode, a state where opportunities, insights, and synchronicities can flow toward you without the usual mental resistance and self-sabotage. The impact becomes even more profound when you combine this breathing technique with what Marcus called the dream vault visualization. This practice involves constructing an incredibly detailed mental image of a magnificent vault filled with all the wealth you desire to manifest. But this isn't just wishful thinking or fantasy. You're creating a subconscious blueprint that serves as a target for the universe to aim toward in delivering your abundance. The key insight here is understanding the difference between visualization as entertainment and visualization as programming. When most people try to visualize wealth, they're essentially daydreaming with no real power behind it. But when you create your dream vault in that liminal space between waking and sleeping, while your breathing has synchronized your brainwaves to prosperity frequencies, you're actually installing new software in your subconscious operating system. Marcus would spend several minutes before sleep mentally constructing every detail of his vault. The heavy gold doors, the stacks of currency, the investment documents, the property deeds, even the feeling of cool metal handles as he opened massive safe deposit boxes filled with precious gems and certificates of wealth. But the crucial element wasn't just seeing these images, it was experiencing the emotions of already possessing this abundance. He would feel the satisfaction, the security, the freedom that comes with genuine financial prosperity. The revelations of this practice extend far beyond simple positive thinking. When you construct your dream vault with enough detail and emotional intensity, your subconscious begins treating it as a memory rather than a fantasy. This is where the real magic happens. Your mind starts working to make reality match this installed memory of abundance. It begins recognizing opportunities, making connections, and guiding decisions that align with the wealthy identity you've been programming during sleep. The journey from visualization to manifestation accelerates because your dream vault becomes a constant reference point for your subconscious. Throughout your waking hours, even when you're not consciously thinking about money, your mind is comparing every situation and opportunity against the abundance template you've installed. This creates what successful people often describe as luck, the seemingly miraculous appearance of perfect opportunities at exactly the right moment. Now, I want to explore the most advanced aspect of this Dream Vault technique, which involves programming not just what you want to receive, but how you want to feel while receiving it, because the emotional component is what transforms visualization from imagination into manifestation. The emotional component I mentioned is precisely where most people unknowingly sabotage their own progress. They visualize having money, but they feel guilty about wanting it, or anxious about whether they deserve it, or fearful about losing it once they get it. These conflicting emotions create what I call mixed signals to the universe, and mixed signals always produce mixed results at best. This is why the most successful practitioners of sleep wealth programming have developed what they call the abundance affirmation sequence, a series of carefully crafted phrases that are whispered at the exact threshold of sleep when your conscious mind's defenses are completely down. These aren't just positive statements you repeat mechanically. They're sacred phrases that have been refined over generations to bypass every form of mental resistance and install pure prosperity programming directly into your subconscious. The hidden truth about affirmations is that timing is everything. When you're fully awake, your analytical mind immediately begins arguing with any statement that contradicts your current reality. But in that drowsy state, just before sleep takes hold, your subconscious is wide open and incredibly receptive. This is when affirmations become genuine reprogramming tools rather than just hopeful thinking. The transformation happens because these whispered phrases reach the deepest layers of your psyche, the places where your core beliefs about money and worthiness are stored. Instead of fighting against years of conditioning, you're gently installing new programming while your old patterns are essentially offline. Each night, these affirmations work, like software updates, gradually overwriting limiting beliefs and installing an abundance operating system that runs automatically in the background of your life. Behind the scenes of this process, something remarkable occurs that most people never realize. A self-made millionaire named Sarah once shared with me her nightly practice that she credits with transforming her from a struggling single mother into a multi-millionaire entrepreneur. She called it wealth rehearsal, and it goes far beyond simple visualization or affirmations. Every night before sleep, Sarah would mentally experience an entire day of living with the wealth she desired to manifest. The impact of this practice extends well beyond what you might expect from typical manifestation techniques. Sarah wouldn't just imagine having money, she would mentally rehearse, making confident financial decisions, feeling completely comfortable in expensive restaurants, writing large checks for charitable donations, negotiating business deals from a position of abundance rather than desperation. She was essentially training her subconscious to recognize and feel natural in situations that aligned with wealth. This wealth rehearsal process conditions your entire nervous system to expect prosperity. When real opportunities arise, instead of feeling intimidated or unworthy, you respond with the confidence and naturalness of someone who has already experienced success countless times in their mental rehearsals. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual memories, so these nightly practice sessions become a form of advanced success training. The journey of mastering this technique requires understanding that you're not just changing your thoughts, you're literally rewiring your brain's neural pathways. Each night of practice strengthens the neural networks associated with wealth consciousness, while allowing the patterns connected to scarcity and limitation to weaken through disuse. It's like developing a new skill through repetition, except you're developing the skill of being wealthy. If these revelations open something within you, I'd love to have you subscribe. This channel is where we explore the deep connections between consciousness and wealth that most people never discover. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that successful people naturally think, feel, and behave differently around money than those who struggle financially. Through wealth rehearsal, you're not waiting to become successful to develop these patterns. You're installing them now, creating the internal foundation that will support external abundance when it arrives. Now, I want to reveal the specific sequence of affirmations that Sarah combined with her wealth rehearsal practice, and how the precise wording and timing of these phrases can literally reprogram your relationship with money at the cellular level. The specific affirmations Sarah used were carefully designed to activate what she called the law of effortless earning during rest, a principle that goes far beyond traditional concepts of passive income or sleeping earnings. This hidden truth reveals that the most successful people don't just make money while they sleep through investments or automated systems. They actually program their subconscious minds to identify and attract wealth-generating ideas that emerge during dreams and in those precious moments of early morning inspiration. The transformation begins when you understand that your brain's most creative and innovative processes happen during sleep cycles, particularly during REM phases, when your mind is making connections and processing information in ways that your conscious analytical mind could never achieve. Successful entrepreneurs and investors have learned to harness these natural mental processes, turning their sleeping hours into the most productive wealth-generating period of their entire day. Behind the scenes of this phenomenon lies a fascinating aspect of neuroscience that most people never consider. When you plant specific financial intentions before sleep, your subconscious mind continues working on these problems throughout the night, accessing vast networks of information and making connections that often produce breakthrough insights upon awakening. These aren't random thoughts or wishful thinking. They're genuine solutions and opportunities that emerge from your mind's deepest creative processes. The impact becomes extraordinary when you learn to plant what Sarah called golden seeds in your subconscious garden each night before sleep. This technique involves selecting exactly 3 specific financial intentions or problems you want your sleeping mind to work on, then planting them as seeds in your subconscious using a precise visualization and emotional encoding process. The number 3 is crucial because it represents the optimal cognitive load for your subconscious to process effectively without becoming overwhelmed or scattered. The journey of mastering this golden seed technique requires understanding that your subconscious mind operates like fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant, but only if you plant with the right conditions and proper care. Each seed must be planted with crystal clear intention, genuine emotional investment, and complete trust in the process. You're not just hoping for solutions, you're actually commissioning your most powerful mental resources to work on your behalf while you rest. The revelations of this practice become apparent when you realize that your 3 golden seeds create a focused framework for your sleeping mind to operate within. Instead of random dreaming or processing daily stress, your subconscious becomes laser-focused on generating wealth-related insights, identifying opportunities you might have missed, and connecting dots between seemingly unrelated information that could lead to profitable ventures. The specific method for planting these seeds involves a precise ritual that Sarah performed religiously every night for years. As she lay in bed, just before sleep began to take hold, she would visualize each of her 3 financial intentions as actual golden seeds, feeling their weight in her palm, sensing their potential energy, then deliberately planting them in the rich soil of her subconscious mind. She would water each seed with genuine emotion. Excitement for the first seed, gratitude for the second, and absolute certainty for the third. This emotional watering process is what transforms simple thoughts into powerful subconscious commands. Without the proper emotional frequency, your seeds remain dormant. But when planted with the right combination of intention and feeling, they begin growing immediately, sending roots deep into your psyche and sprouting insights that often appear within days or weeks of the planting. The decisions that emerge from this practice aren't just better financial choices. They're often completely innovative approaches that you never would have considered through normal waking analysis. People who master the golden seed technique report receiving everything from new business ideas to investment strategies to solutions for existing financial challenges, all delivered through dreams or sudden morning inspirations. Now, I want to explore the most advanced aspect of this seed planting process, which involves programming your seeds not just with what you want to achieve, but with the specific timeline for manifestation that creates urgency in your subconscious processing. The timeline programming I mentioned creates urgency in your subconscious processing. But there's an even more profound dimension to this work that most people never discover. The transformation becomes exponentially more powerful when you realize that you're not just working with your individual subconscious mind, you're actually tapping into what researchers are beginning to understand as generational wealth consciousness, a form of inherited prosperity wisdom that flows through family lineages. This revelation came to light through the story of James, a man who struggled financially for years, despite applying every technique he could find. His breakthrough came when he discovered that he was unconsciously carrying ancestral patterns of scarcity and financial trauma that had been passed down through generations. These weren't just learned behaviors. They were energetic imprints embedded in what scientists now call epigenetic memory, cellular information that shapes our automatic responses to money and opportunity. Behind the scenes of every family system, there exists what ancient wisdom traditions called the wealth lineage, a stream of consciousness that carries both the financial limitations and the prosperity potential of your ancestors. James learned to access this lineage through dream state communion, a practice that involves connecting with the wisdom of prosperous ancestors who had successfully overcome financial challenges in their own lifetimes. The impact of this ancestral connection work extends far beyond personal healing or historical curiosity. When you learn to commune with wealthy ancestors during sleep, you're actually downloading their successful mindset patterns, their decision-making frameworks, and their natural comfort with abundance. It's like having access to the ultimate wealth mentorship from people who share your genetic and energetic blueprint for success. The journey of mastering this ancestral connection begins with understanding that your family tree contains both streams of consciousness, patterns of limitation and patterns of prosperity. Through specific sleep meditations and ancestral honoring rituals, you learn to consciously connect with the wealth consciousness that exists in your lineage while releasing the scarcity programming that may have been dominant in more recent generations. If these teachings resonated with your soul tonight, a simple like tells me this message found the right person and helps others discover these same abundant secrets. James would spend the first few minutes before sleep inviting the spirits of financially successful ancestors to share their wisdom through his dreams. He wasn't seeking supernatural phenomena or dramatic visions. He was simply opening his consciousness to receive guidance from those who had walked similar paths and achieved the prosperity he desired. The insights that emerged were remarkably practical and often contained information he had no conscious way of knowing. The revelations of this practice become even more profound when combined with what James called the abundance flow visualization, a technique that creates energetic pathways for wealth to flow into your life from multiple directions simultaneously. Instead of visualizing static images of money or success, this practice involves experiencing money as a living, flowing energy that moves like a golden river through your consciousness and into your physical reality. The hidden truth about money that most people never understand is that it's not actually a thing, it's a flow. Wealthy people don't typically hoard money. They become conduits for money to flow through their lives, always moving, always circulating, always growing. When you visualize abundance as a flowing, golden river while drifting to sleep, you're programming your subconscious to recognize and create the conditions that allow this natural flow to occur. The transformation happens because this flowing visualization creates what successful people naturally develop, an abundance mindset that expects money to come from multiple sources. Instead of fixating on one particular income stream or opportunity, your subconscious begins recognizing and attracting unexpected windfalls, business, opportunities, and financial breakthroughs from directions you never anticipated. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from this practice reflect the flowing nature of the visualization itself. People report sudden business partnerships, unexpected investment opportunities, chance encounters that lead to lucrative ventures, and what can only be described as synchronistic financial events that seem to appear from nowhere but are actually the result of this energetic programming work. Now, I want to reveal the specific technique for creating these abundance flow visualizations in a way that generates maximum impact on both your subconscious programming and your external financial reality. The specific technique for creating these abundance flow visualizations operates on principles that go even deeper than most people realize. The transformation becomes exponentially more powerful when you understand that the universe responds most dramatically to one specific emotional frequency. Above all others, genuine gratitude. But this isn't just about being thankful for what you currently have. The hidden truth that multiplies manifestation power by what feels like 1,000% is learning to feel authentic gratitude for wealth that doesn't yet exist in your physical reality. This revelation came through years of studying why some people using identical manifestation techniques get extraordinary results, while others see little to no change in their circumstances. Behind the scenes of every dramatic wealth manifestation, researchers discovered the same pattern. People who achieved breakthrough results had mastered what they called the gratitude multiplier sleep practice, a specific sequence of grateful feelings that literally tricks the subconscious mind into believing abundance is already present and accelerates its physical manifestation accordingly. The impact of this practice stems from a fundamental aspect of how your subconscious mind processes information. Your deeper mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience, accompanied by genuine emotion, and an actual memory of something that really happened. When you feel authentic gratitude for imagined wealth just before sleep, you're essentially installing a memory of already being prosperous. Your subconscious then works tirelessly to make your external reality match this installed abundance memory. The journey of mastering this gratitude sequence requires understanding that there's a vast difference between intellectual appreciation and the deep cellular level gratitude that creates transformation. Most people try to feel grateful for money they don't have, but they're actually feeling anxious or desperate underneath, which creates mixed signals and mixed results. The breakthrough comes when you learn to generate the same quality of gratitude you would feel if you had just received unexpected good news about your finances. The specific sequence involves moving through different aspects of your imagined wealth, feeling grateful for the security it provides, the opportunities it creates, the ability to help others, the freedom from financial worry, and the sense of personal achievement. Each aspect generates a different quality of grateful emotion, and together they create what successful manifestors describe as an abundance frequency that seems to magnetize wealth from multiple directions. The revelations of this practice extend into dimensions that most people never consider. A wealthy entrepreneur named Maria once shared with me how she discovered that her gratitude practice was actually connecting her with what she could only describe as a prosperity guardian angel, a benevolent presence that seemed to specialize in opening financial doors and creating prosperity pathways that became visible upon awakening. The transformation that occurred in Maria's life after she began invoking this guardian presence was so dramatic that it challenged everything she thought she understood about how success happens. Through a sacred pre-sleep invocation, she would call upon this celestial being to work on her behalf during sleep, opening doors of opportunity, arranging synchronistic meetings, and clearing obstacles from her path to abundance. Behind the scenes of this angelic connection work lies an understanding that we're not alone in our journey toward prosperity. Whether you interpret this guardian as a spiritual entity, a personification of your own higher wisdom, or simply a focused intention that organizes universal forces, the practical results remain consistently powerful. People who work with prosperity guardians report an acceleration in opportunities, an increase in synchronistic events, and what can only be described as supernatural assistance in their wealth-building endeavors. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from this guardian connection often seem to come from outside normal cause and effect. Maria began receiving business opportunities through chance encounters, finding herself in the right place at the right time with increasing frequency, and discovering that obstacles that would normally block financial progress simply dissolved before they could create problems. It was as if an invisible hand was clearing her path and arranging circumstances in her favor. The impact becomes even more profound when you combine the gratitude multiplier practice with this guardian invocation, creating what experienced practitioners describe as the ultimate wealth attraction protocol. The grateful emotion opens your consciousness to receive abundance, while the guardian invocation ensures that assistance flows toward you from dimensions beyond your normal awareness. Now, I want to explore how these two practices work together to create what many consider the most powerful wealth manifestation combination ever discovered, and why the timing of this invocation during the transition to sleep creates maximum effectiveness. The timing of this guardian invocation during the transition to sleep creates maximum effectiveness because your brain waves are naturally shifting into the exact frequencies that allow for the deepest programming and the strongest connection to what researchers are now calling wealth consciousness fields. This is where the science of sound frequency meets the art of manifestation in ways that most people never realize exist. The transformation becomes even more profound when you understand that your brain operates like a sophisticated radio receiver, constantly tuning into different frequency ranges based on your mental and emotional state. Behind the scenes of every successful wealth attraction practice lies a hidden truth about vibrational alignment. Your brain waves must match the same frequency patterns that naturally occur in millionaire consciousness for abundance to flow effortlessly into your life. This revelation led to the development of what Maria called the Wealth Frequency Sleep Soundtrack, a collection of specific sound frequencies designed to align your sleeping brainwaves with the exact patterns found in the minds of highly successful, wealthy individuals. These aren't just relaxing sounds or generic meditation music. They're precisely calibrated vibrational patterns that reprogram neural pathways for automatic wealth recognition and magnetic money attraction at the cellular level. The impact of this frequency alignment work extends far beyond simple relaxation or improved sleep quality. When your brain entrains to these wealth frequencies during sleep, something remarkable happens. You begin processing information and making decisions from the same neurological framework that successful people use naturally. It's like temporarily borrowing the brain patterns of millionaires and installing them in your own consciousness. The journey of mastering this frequency work reveals insights that challenge everything most people believe about success and wealth creation. A hedge fund manager named David discovered that his most profitable investment decisions didn't come from complex analysis or market research. They came from a form of subconscious processing that occurred when he learned to program his sleeping mind to identify winning investments and profitable ventures during specific brainwave states. The revelations of David's approach center around what he called dream state analysis, a technique where he would fall asleep while contemplating particular investment opportunities or market conditions. His subconscious mind, operating at wealth frequencies and free from the limitations of conscious analytical thinking, would process vast amounts of information and deliver insights through dreams or early morning inspirations that consistently generated extraordinary returns. The hidden truth about successful traders and investors is that their best decisions often emerge not from rational analysis alone, but from a form of intuitive processing that accesses information beyond normal conscious awareness. When you program your sleeping mind with specific investment questions or financial problems, your subconscious begins working with data patterns and connections that your waking mind could never perceive or process effectively. The transformation happens because your sleeping brain can simultaneously consider thousands of variables, historical patterns, and subtle market indicators while remaining uninfluenced by fear, greed, or other emotional biases that typically sabotage financial decisions. David would often wake up with complete clarity about investments he should make or avoid, insights that proved remarkably accurate when applied in the real world. The specific method involves a combination of the wealth frequency soundtracks and targeted programming of investment questions before sleep. As the frequencies align your brainwaves with successful patterns, you plant specific questions about profitable opportunities, market timing, or investment strategies in your subconscious. The combination creates what David described as supernatural market intelligence that seemed to give him an unfair advantage over other investors. The impact extends beyond individual stock picks or business decisions into a fundamental shift in how you perceive and respond to financial opportunities. People who master this subconscious investment strategy report developing an almost uncanny ability to sense which opportunities will be profitable and which should be avoided, even when the conscious analysis suggests otherwise. Now, I want to reveal the most advanced aspect of this frequency and programming combination, which involves creating what successful investors call wealth intuition, a form of financial sixth sense that operates continuously, even during waking hours. The wealth intuition I mentioned operates continuously once properly developed, but it requires a specific framework to function effectively. This is where the most successful practitioners discovered something remarkable about the relationship between time, intention, and manifestation. The transformation becomes exponentially more powerful when you learn to create what David called the abundance timeline before sleep. A detailed mental roadmap of your financial goals manifesting in precise sequence over specific time frames. This revelation came through studying why some people, using identical manifestation techniques, achieve their goals quickly, while others seem to drift endlessly without clear progress. Behind the scenes of every dramatic financial transformation, researchers found the same pattern. Successful people had created detailed timelines that served as subconscious navigation systems, guiding their daily decisions and actions toward inevitable wealth accumulation through what could only be described as inspired action. The impact of timeline creation extends far beyond simple goal setting or positive thinking. When you construct a vivid, detailed sequence of your financial milestones occurring at specific intervals before sleep, your subconscious treats this timeline as a blueprint for reality creation. Your deeper mind begins organizing your perceptions, opportunities, and decisions around making this timeline manifest exactly as programmed. The journey of mastering this timeline technique requires understanding that your subconscious mind operates like a sophisticated project management system. Give it a clear roadmap with specific milestones and timeframes, and it begins coordinating all aspects of your life, from the opportunities you notice to the people you meet to the decisions you make. Toward achieving those programmed outcomes on schedule, the specific method involves lying in bed just before sleep and mentally experiencing each major financial milestone as if it were a memory rather than a goal. You see yourself receiving the first significant income increase in 3 months, launching the profitable venture in 8 months, reaching your first major wealth target in 18 months, and so on. Each timeline point is experienced with complete sensory detail and genuine emotional satisfaction, creating what successful people describe as future memories that pull you forward into the reality they represent. The revelations of this practice become even more profound when combined with what ancient prosperity texts revealed about the connection between physical posture and wealth attraction. A Sanskrit manuscript discovered in a Himalayan monastery contained detailed instructions for what it called money magnet sleep postures, specific body positions that align energy centers for maximum abundance reception from universal fields during sleep. The transformation happens because your physical body serves as an antenna for various forms of energy, including what these ancient texts described as prosperity frequencies that flow continuously through the universe. Certain sleeping positions optimize your body's ability to receive and integrate these abundance energies, while simultaneously creating the ideal conditions for deep subconscious programming. Behind the scenes of this postural work lies an understanding that your chakra system, the energy centers running along your spine, must be properly aligned for wealth consciousness to flow freely through your being. The ancient practitioners discovered that specific sleeping positions naturally balance these energy centers, creating what they called prosperity channels that allow abundance to flow into your life without the usual internal resistance or energetic blocks. The impact extends beyond metaphysical concepts into measurable physiological changes. People who sleep in these abundance-optimized positions report deeper, more restorative sleep, more vivid and meaningful dreams, and a noticeable increase in what they describe as financial intuition or opportunity recognition during waking hours. The specific postures seem to enhance both the depth of subconscious programming and the receptivity to abundance-related insights and inspirations. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from combining timeline creation with these prosperity sleep postures reflect a remarkable acceleration in manifestation speed. The timeline provides the roadmap, while the optimal posture ensures maximum receptivity to the guidance and opportunities needed to achieve the programmed milestones on schedule. Now, I want to explore the most advanced aspects of these prosperity sleep postures and how they work synergistically with timeline programming to create what ancient texts called inevitable abundance, a state where wealth manifestation becomes as natural and automatic as breathing. The inevitable abundance I mentioned becomes automatic when you understand that wealth isn't something you acquire, it's something you become. This is where most people unknowingly sabotage their own progress by maintaining an identity of someone who needs money rather than someone who naturally attracts it. The transformation occurs at the deepest level when you learn to use sleep for what successful people call wealthy identity integration dream work, a practice that literally rewires your self-concept at the subconscious level. Behind the scenes of every dramatic financial breakthrough lies a fundamental shift in identity that happened before the external circumstances changed. The hidden truth is that your subconscious mind is constantly working to create circumstances that match your deepest beliefs about who you are. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, your subconscious will arrange for struggles. If you genuinely identify as someone who naturally attracts wealth, it will create opportunities that align with that identity. The impact of this identity work extends far beyond positive thinking or affirmations. When you consistently experience yourself as wealthy during the vulnerable state of falling asleep, you're installing new identity programming at the cellular level. Your nervous system begins expecting prosperity. Your decision-making patterns shift to match those of successful people, and your entire energy field starts broadcasting the frequency of someone who belongs in wealthy circles. The journey of mastering this identity integration requires understanding that transformation happens through repetition and emotional intensity during specific brainwave states. Each night as you drift to sleep, you mentally step into the identity of your wealthy future self, feeling how it feels to move through the world with complete financial confidence and natural abundance attraction. This isn't visualization, it's identity rehearsal at the deepest possible level. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that many of the world's most successful people trace their breakthrough moments not to business plans or market analysis, but to specific ideas that came through dreams. A technology billionaire once shared that his most profitable innovation emerged from a vivid dream about solving a problem in an entirely new way. This isn't coincidence. It's the result of what he called golden opportunity dream journaling, a practice that programs your subconscious to remember and deliver wealth-generating insights through the dream state. The specific method involves training your mind to capture breakthrough ideas that emerge during sleep by programming your subconscious with a clear intention before rest. As you lie down, you essentially commission your sleeping mind to work on specific financial challenges or opportunities with the instruction to deliver solutions in a form you can remember and record upon awakening. This creates what successful entrepreneurs describe as a direct pipeline to creative and financial intelligence that operates beyond normal conscious limitations. The transformation happens because your dreaming mind has access to information processing capabilities that dwarf anything your waking consciousness can achieve. During REM cycles, your brain can simultaneously consider thousands of variables, make connections across seemingly unrelated areas of knowledge, and generate solutions that would take weeks or months of conscious analysis to develop. The key is learning to capture these insights before they fade into the typical morning amnesia that causes most people to lose their most valuable nocturnal revelations. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from consistent dream journaling often represent quantum leaps in financial thinking rather than incremental improvements. People report receiving complete business models, innovative solutions to persistent problems, and what can only be described as download-style transmissions of sophisticated strategies for wealth creation. The practice requires keeping a journal specifically dedicated to recording these financial insights immediately upon awakening, before the logical mind can edit or dismiss what emerged from the dream state. The impact extends beyond individual ideas into a fundamental shift in how you relate to your own creative and financial potential. When you begin receiving regular guidance and inspiration through dreams, you develop what successful people naturally possess: complete confidence in your ability to generate solutions and opportunities regardless of external circumstances. Now, I want to explore the most advanced techniques for maximizing dream recall and ensuring that the wealth-generating insights from your sleeping mind translate into real-world financial breakthroughs that compound over time. The wealth-generating insights I mentioned compound over time, but their power multiplies exponentially when you understand that the greatest financial breakthroughs rarely happen in isolation. Behind the scenes of every major success story lies a network of strategic relationships, business partners, investors, mentors, and collaborators who amplified what would have been impossible to achieve alone. This revelation led to the development of what successful entrepreneurs call prosperity partner manifestation, a technique that uses sleep consciousness to magnetize exactly the right relationships that accelerate financial growth exponentially. The transformation begins when you realize that your sleeping mind can be programmed not just to generate ideas and opportunities, but to attract specific types of people who possess the skills, resources, or connections that perfectly complement your wealth-building journey. The hidden truth is that successful partnerships aren't usually formed through networking events or business meetings. They emerge through what can only be described as synchronistic magnetism, where the right people appear at exactly the right time with exactly the right capabilities. The impact of this partnership manifestation work extends far beyond simply meeting new people. When you program your subconscious to attract prosperity partners before sleep, you're essentially broadcasting a specific frequency that draws individuals whose success patterns and resource bases align perfectly with your financial goals. It's like sending out an energetic invitation that only the right people can perceive and respond to. The journey of mastering this technique requires understanding that your consciousness during sleep operates like a powerful beacon, attracting people and circumstances that match your programmed intentions. A real estate developer once shared how he used this practice to attract an investment partner who provided both the capital and expertise needed for a project that generated millions in profit. The partnership formed through what seemed like a chance encounter, but was actually the result of months of consistent sleep programming. The specific method involves visualizing your ideal business relationships with complete detail before sleep. Not just the type of person you want to attract, but the exact qualities, resources, and collaborative dynamics that would create mutual prosperity. You experience the feeling of already working with these perfect partners, sharing successes, and building wealth together in ways that amplify everyone's capabilities. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that most people unconsciously sabotage their ability to attract prosperous partnerships through what they carry in their subconscious about money, success, and worthiness. This is where the abundance clearing sleep ritual becomes essential, a practice that releases ancestral poverty patterns and inherited scarcity beliefs that often block the very relationships and opportunities we're trying to manifest. The transformation happens because these generational limitations operate like invisible barriers in your energy field, repelling exactly the people and opportunities that could transform your financial reality. An entrepreneur named Lisa discovered that despite using every manifestation technique consistently, she continued attracting partners who undermined her success or investors who backed out at crucial moments. Her breakthrough came when she learned to clear ancestral scarcity programming through specific nighttime ceremonies. Behind the scenes of every family lineage flow streams of both empowering and limiting beliefs about money, success, and worthiness. These aren't just learned behaviors, they're energetic imprints that can be passed down through generations, creating unconscious patterns that sabotage financial growth, even when conscious intentions are strongly focused on prosperity. The clearing ritual works by identifying and releasing these inherited patterns during the vulnerable state of falling asleep. The impact extends beyond personal healing into a fundamental liberation of your wealth potential from limitations that may not even be your own. Lisa found that after several weeks of consistent clearing work, not only did her ability to attract quality partnerships improve dramatically, but her entire relationship with money and success transformed. She began receiving opportunities that aligned with her highest potential rather than her inherited limitations. The decisions and relationships that emerge from this clearing work reflect a profound shift in energetic alignment. People report attracting business partners who share their vision and values, investors who genuinely support their success, and collaborative opportunities that feel both natural and extraordinarily productive. The clearing creates space for partnerships based on mutual prosperity rather than scarcity-based competition or manipulation. Now, I want to reveal the specific steps of this ancestral clearing ritual and how it works synergistically with partnership manifestation to create what successful people describe as magnetic abundance, a state where the right people and opportunities are naturally drawn to you. The magnetic abundance I mentioned creates a powerful foundation, but it reaches its full potential when combined with what Lisa discovered during her transformation journey, the practice of wealthy lifestyle rehearsal dreams. This technique goes far beyond simple visualization by creating immersive experiences of your desired wealthy lifestyle each night before sleep. The hidden truth is that your energy field responds to these vivid rehearsals as if they were actual experiences, gradually conditioning your entire being to attract the exact circumstances needed to make this lifestyle your reality. Behind the scenes of every dramatic lifestyle transformation lies a period of what successful people unconsciously do. They begin living their desired reality mentally and emotionally before it manifests physically. The impact extends far beyond positive thinking into actual energetic programming. When you consistently experience wealthy lifestyle scenarios during the vulnerable state of falling asleep, you're installing new identity templates that your subconscious works tirelessly to manifest in the physical world. The transformation happens because your nervous system cannot distinguish between a vividly experienced imagined scenario and an actual memory when the experience is accompanied by genuine emotion. Each night of lifestyle rehearsal creates what neuroscientists call synthetic memories, neural pathways that make your brain believe you've already lived this wealthy lifestyle. Your subconscious then works to align your external reality with these installed memories. The journey of mastering this rehearsal practice requires understanding that successful people naturally feel comfortable in wealthy environments because they've conditioned themselves to expect and belong in such circumstances. Through nightly lifestyle rehearsals, you develop the same natural comfort and expectation, which automatically attracts opportunities and relationships that match this programmed identity. A venture capitalist named Robert shared how he used this technique to accelerate his path from middle-class background to extraordinary wealth. Every night, he would mentally experience living in his dream home, driving luxury vehicles, dining at exclusive restaurants, and conducting business deals worth millions. These weren't fantasies, they were conditioning sessions that programmed his energy field to expect and attract this level of abundance. The revelations become even more profound when combined with what Robert called the financial goal acceleration technique, a method that compresses the typical manifestation timeline from years to months or even weeks through specific sleep programming protocols. This technique works by creating what successful manifestors describe as energetic urgency in your subconscious, mobilizing all your mental and spiritual resources toward achieving specific financial targets within accelerated time frames. The transformation occurs because most people unconsciously program long manifestation timelines, telling themselves it will take years to achieve significant wealth. This programming becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as their subconscious operates according to these extended expectations. The acceleration technique reverses this by installing compressed timelines that create urgency and focus in your deeper mind, causing it to identify and create opportunities much more rapidly. The impact extends beyond simple goal setting into fundamental changes in how opportunities present themselves. When your subconscious believes a financial goal must manifest within a specific compressed time frame, it begins recognizing possibilities and connections that would normally remain invisible. People report sudden breakthrough opportunities, unexpected collaborations, and what can only be described as miraculous circumstances appearing exactly when needed to meet their accelerated timeline. The specific method involves programming your desired financial outcomes with specific deadlines during the transition to sleep, but with a crucial element that most people miss. You must feel the emotional state of someone who is confident these goals will manifest on schedule. This confidence creates what Robert described as inevitability programming, where your subconscious treats the financial goals as predetermined outcomes rather than mere possibilities. The decisions and actions that emerge from this acceleration programming reflect a remarkable shift in urgency and focus. Instead of vague long-term planning, people begin taking immediate, decisive action toward their financial goals. They recognize time-sensitive opportunities, make bold moves that previously would have seemed too risky, and find themselves operating with the confidence and urgency of someone who knows their success is imminent. Now, I want to explore the most advanced aspects of this acceleration technique, particularly how to program your subconscious with the precise emotional frequency that transforms hopes into inevitabilities and dramatically shortens manifestation timelines. The precise emotional frequency I mentioned transforms hopes into inevitabilities through a phenomenon that most people never discover: the power of sacred sound patterns repeated during the transition to sleep. This is where the ancient practice of prosperity mantra sleep hypnosis becomes essential, revealing how specific wealth mantras can bypass conscious resistance and install abundance programming directly into your subconscious when your mental defenses are completely down. The transformation occurs because these aren't ordinary affirmations or positive statements. These are carefully crafted sound patterns that have been refined over generations to create specific vibrational changes in your neural pathways. Behind the scenes of every successful mantra practice lies an understanding that certain combinations of sounds, when repeated at the exact threshold of sleep, literally reprogram your brain's abundance recognition systems at the cellular level. A successful entrepreneur named Michael discovered this hidden truth during his darkest financial period. Despite years of trying various manifestation techniques, his breakthrough came when he learned specific Sanskrit-based prosperity mantras that seemed to work like abundance hypnosis when whispered repeatedly as consciousness faded into sleep. The impact was so dramatic that within 30 days, opportunities began appearing that transformed his entire financial reality. The journey of mastering these sacred phrases requires understanding that your conscious mind's resistance to wealth, those deep-seated beliefs about unworthiness, scarcity, or the difficulty of making money, completely dissolves during the transition to sleep. This creates a window of opportunity where prosperity programming can be installed without the usual internal arguments or doubts that normally sabotage manifestation efforts. The revelations become even more profound when you combine these mantras with what Michael called the Multistream visualization flow, a technique that creates multiple income channels in what quantum physicists are beginning to understand as the field of infinite possibility. Instead of focusing on one source of income or a single financial goal, this practice involves visualizing money flowing to you simultaneously from multiple directions: salary increases, business profits, investments, gifts, and unexpected windfalls. The hidden truth about wealthy people is that they rarely depend on a single income source. They naturally think in terms of multiple streams, diversified abundance, and varied revenue channels. When you visualize this multi-stream flow before sleep, you're programming your subconscious to recognize and create opportunities across multiple areas of your financial life, rather than limiting yourself to one primary source. The transformation happens because your sleeping mind begins organizing your perceptions and actions around creating these multiple income streams in your waking life. Instead of seeing only employment opportunities or only business possibilities, you begin noticing investment chances, partnership potentials, creative revenue ideas, and unexpected abundance sources that would have remained invisible without this programming. The impact extends far beyond increased income into a fundamental shift in financial security and confidence. When money flows from multiple sources, you develop what successful people naturally possess: an unshakable belief in your ability to generate abundance, regardless of economic conditions or external circumstances. Your financial foundation becomes diversified and resilient in ways that single-income thinking could never achieve. The specific method involves a precise sequence where the prosperity mantras create the vibrational foundation, while the multi-stream visualization provides the specific programming content. As you repeat the sacred phrases, you simultaneously experience money flowing toward you from various sources, feeling the emotions of someone who naturally attracts diversified abundance rather than struggling for limited opportunities. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from this combined practice reflect a remarkable expansion in financial possibility thinking. People report suddenly noticing investment opportunities they had overlooked, receiving unexpected business proposals, discovering hidden talents that generate revenue, and experiencing what can only be described as synchronistic abundance events from multiple directions simultaneously. Now I want to explore the most powerful prosperity mantras that have been proven to create the deepest subconscious transformation, and how to combine them with visualization techniques that program your mind for inevitable multi-stream abundance that compounds exponentially over time. The multi-stream abundance that compounds exponentially over time requires more than just mental programming. It demands what successful wealth builders have always understood about the power of environment. The transformation becomes dramatically more potent when you realize that your bedroom, the space where you spend 8 hours each night in your most receptive state, can either amplify or sabotage every prosperity technique you're practicing. This revelation led to the development of what Michael called abundant sleep environment creation, a practice that transforms your sleeping space into a prosperity sanctuary using specific colors, objects, and arrangements. Behind the scenes of every successful person's home, you'll find subtle but deliberate environmental choices that constantly reinforce wealth consciousness. These aren't obvious displays of materialism, but carefully selected elements that program the subconscious mind for abundance through continuous exposure during the vulnerable hours of sleep. The hidden truth is that your environment speaks directly to your deeper mind, either affirming prosperity or reinforcing limitation every single night without your conscious awareness. The impact extends far beyond simple decoration into what environmental psychologists call contextual programming. When your bedroom contains specific colors that stimulate abundance consciousness, objects that represent achieved financial goals, and arrangements that create energetic flow patterns associated with prosperity, your subconscious receives constant reinforcement of wealth identity even during deep sleep phases. A millionaire investor named Patricia shared how she discovered that certain environmental modifications to her sleeping space accelerated her manifestation results exponentially. Gold accents that caught moonlight, fresh flowers that represented growth and renewal, and strategic placement of objects that symbolized her financial achievements created what she described as a wealth cocoon that enhanced every other prosperity practice she was using. The journey of mastering environmental wealth programming requires understanding that your subconscious mind processes visual and energetic information continuously, even during sleep. The colors, shapes, and symbolic meanings present in your bedroom create a constant stream of subliminal messaging that either supports or contradicts your conscious wealth-building efforts. When these elements align with prosperity consciousness, they create what successful people describe as environmental momentum that carries your manifestation work forward even when you're not actively practicing techniques. The revelations become even more profound when you combine optimal environmental programming with what Patricia discovered during her most successful period: the ability to access what she called millionaire mindset sleep downloads through dream state connection to collective prosperity consciousness. This advanced technique allows you to absorb the actual thought patterns, decision-making frameworks, and success strategies of wealthy individuals who have mastered wealth creation, directly downloading their consciousness patterns into your own mind during sleep. The transformation happens because successful people's minds operate on different frequencies than those who struggle financially. Their neural patterns reflect confidence, opportunity recognition, strategic thinking, and natural comfort with large amounts of money. Through specific sleep programming techniques, you can literally tune into this collective millionaire consciousness and absorb these patterns as if they were your own memories and instincts. Behind the scenes of this consciousness downloading process lies an understanding that individual minds are connected through what quantum physicists call non-local consciousness fields. During certain sleep states, particularly deep theta brainwave phases, your consciousness becomes permeable to information from other minds that share similar frequency patterns. By deliberately tuning to millionaire consciousness before sleep, you create access to this collective wealth intelligence. The impact extends beyond intellectual knowledge into fundamental shifts in intuition, decision-making, and opportunity recognition that occur automatically without conscious effort. People who master this downloading technique report developing what can only be described as millionaire instincts, the ability to sense profitable opportunities, make confident financial decisions, and navigate wealth-building challenges with the same natural ease that successful people demonstrate. The decisions and insights that emerge from this collective consciousness work reflect a remarkable acceleration in financial sophistication and strategic thinking. Instead of struggling to figure out wealth-building approaches through trial and error, you begin operating with the accumulated wisdom of those who have already achieved extraordinary success. Now, I want to reveal the specific environmental modifications that create maximum prosperity programming impact and how to combine them with the consciousness downloading techniques that give you direct access to millionaire-level financial intelligence. The millionaire-level financial intelligence I mentioned becomes exponentially more powerful when combined with something that most people overlook entirely: the profound importance of setting a specific date for your financial freedom. This revelation came through studying why some people using identical manifestation techniques achieve breakthrough results, while others seem to drift endlessly without clear progress. Behind the scenes of every dramatic financial transformation lies what Patricia called financial freedom date setting, a practice that creates an energetic deadline, mobilizing universal forces to manifest your goal by the chosen date. The transformation occurs because your subconscious mind operates like a sophisticated project management system that works most effectively when given clear deadlines. When you choose a specific date for achieving financial freedom and program it deeply into your sleeping consciousness, you're essentially commissioning all levels of your being, conscious, subconscious, and what some call superconscious, to organize around making that timeline reality. A software entrepreneur named David discovered this principle during his most successful period. Instead of vague goals like, "Someday I'll be wealthy," he chose a specific date 18 months in the future when he would achieve complete financial independence. Every night before sleep, he would visualize that exact date on a calendar, experiencing the emotions of someone who had just achieved total financial freedom on that precise day. The impact extends far beyond simple goal setting into what David described as reality reorganization. When you install a specific financial freedom date in your subconscious, your mind begins recognizing opportunities, making connections, and guiding decisions that create a clear pathway to achieving that goal on schedule. It's like having an internal GPS system constantly recalculating the fastest route to your financial destination. The journey of mastering this date-setting technique requires understanding that specificity creates power in ways that general intentions never can. Your subconscious needs concrete targets to work with, and when you provide a clear deadline backed by genuine emotion and unwavering commitment, it mobilizes resources and connections that seem almost supernatural in their precision and timing. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that most people unknowingly sabotage their financial goals through deep-seated unworthiness patterns that operate completely below conscious awareness. This is where the Wealthworthiness sleep healing becomes essential, a technique that dissolves the internal barriers sabotaging financial success and opens you to receive unlimited abundance without the usual self-imposed limitations. The transformation happens because worthiness issues around money are rarely logical or conscious. They're embedded in what psychologists call core programming, fundamental beliefs about your value and deservingness that were installed during childhood and reinforced through years of cultural conditioning. These patterns operate like invisible force fields that repel wealth even when you're consciously doing everything right to attract it. Behind the scenes of every persistent financial struggle lies some form of worthiness conflict. A part of the person wants wealth, while another part believes they don't deserve it, or that having money would somehow make them selfish, corrupt, or disconnected from their values. This internal conflict creates what successful therapists recognize as approach avoidance patterns that simultaneously attract and repel abundance. The impact of worthiness healing work extends far beyond increased income into fundamental shifts in self-perception and life satisfaction. When you dissolve the deep programming that says you're not worthy of abundant prosperity, you don't just make more money. You begin living with the confidence and ease that naturally successful people demonstrate in all areas of life. The specific method involves using the vulnerable state of falling asleep to access and reprogram these core worthiness patterns. As consciousness fades, your defensive mechanisms relax, allowing healing energy and new programming to reach the deepest levels of your psyche, where these limiting beliefs are stored. This creates lasting transformation that operates automatically without ongoing conscious effort. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from worthiness healing reflect a remarkable shift in what you're willing to receive and pursue. Instead of unconsciously sabotaging success or settling for less than you desire, you begin operating with the natural expectation of abundance that characterizes people who were raised with healthy money consciousness. Now, I want to explore the most profound aspects of this worthiness healing work and how it synergizes with date-setting techniques to create what successful people describe as inevitable wealth manifestation, a state where financial success becomes as natural and automatic as breathing. The inevitable wealth manifestation I mentioned operates through principles that transcend ordinary goal-setting and worthiness work. The transformation reaches its ultimate power when you understand that the universe responds most dramatically to a specific emotional frequency that most people never learn to generate authentically. This frequency is genuine gratitude for wealth that doesn't yet exist in your physical reality, and it creates what David discovered during his most successful period, the prosperity gratitude sleep practice. Behind the scenes of every rapid wealth manifestation lies this hidden truth. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between gratitude for something you currently possess and gratitude for something you're vividly experiencing in your imagination. When you feel authentic appreciation for your future wealth as if it already exists while falling asleep, you're essentially tricking your deeper mind into believing abundance is your current reality, which then mobilizes every aspect of your being to make this belief physically manifest. The impact extends far beyond positive thinking into what quantum physicists are beginning to understand about the relationship between emotion and reality creation. Gratitude generates a specific vibrational frequency that acts like a powerful magnet for the circumstances, people, and opportunities needed to manifest what you're appreciating. When this emotional state is generated consistently during the vulnerable transition to sleep, it creates what successful manifestors describe as appreciation momentum that compounds night after night. A real estate mogul named Rebecca shared how she discovered that her breakthrough from moderate success to extraordinary wealth coincided exactly with her practice of falling asleep while feeling profound gratitude for the financial freedom she intended to achieve. She would experience the emotions of someone who had just received news of achieving complete prosperity, feeling thankful for opportunities not yet manifested, appreciating abundance not yet physical, and celebrating success not yet accomplished. The journey of mastering this Gratitude practice requires understanding that authentic appreciation cannot be forced or manufactured through willpower alone. It emerges from a deeper place of trust and connection with the abundance that already exists in potential form. When you learn to feel genuinely grateful for wealth that exists in the quantum field of possibility, you're essentially calling it into physical manifestation through the power of emotional alignment. The revelations become even more profound when combined with what Rebecca called the golden light abundance meditation, a visualization that programs every cell of your body for wealth consciousness by filling your entire being with golden light that carries the frequency of abundance. This isn't just imagination, it's energetic programming that transforms your cellular structure into what successful people naturally embody, a living, breathing magnet for prosperity. The transformation happens because your body is essentially a sophisticated electromagnetic system that broadcasts specific frequencies based on your programmed beliefs and emotional states. When you visualize golden abundance light filling every cell, organ, and energy center before sleep, you're literally reprogramming your bioelectric field to resonate at the same frequency that naturally wealthy people emit unconsciously. The impact extends into physiological changes that can be measured and observed. People who practice this golden light meditation report not only increased opportunities and income, but actual changes in their presence and energy that others notice immediately. They begin naturally attracting people and circumstances that align with prosperity consciousness because their entire energetic system is broadcasting wealth frequencies. The specific method involves a precise sequence where the gratitude practice creates the emotional foundation, while the golden light visualization transforms your energetic structure to match that emotional state. As you feel appreciation for your future abundance, you simultaneously fill your body with luminous golden energy that carries the vibrational signature of unlimited prosperity. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from this combined practice reflect a fundamental shift in energetic alignment. Instead of struggling to attract wealth from a place of lack or need, you begin operating from a state of energetic abundance that naturally draws money, opportunities, and success like a powerful electromagnetic force. Now, I want to explore the most advanced applications of this golden light technique and how it works synergistically with gratitude programming to create what enlightened masters throughout history have called embodied abundance, a state where prosperity becomes your natural expression rather than something you pursue. The embodied abundance I mentioned becomes your natural expression through a phenomenon that most people never discover: the ability to receive direct guidance from the version of yourself who has already achieved extraordinary wealth. This revelation came through Rebecca's most profound breakthrough period, when she learned to establish what she called wealthy future self-connection through dream state meetings that provided specific action steps and wisdom from her own future consciousness. Behind the scenes of this advanced practice lies an understanding that time operates differently in consciousness than in physical reality. Your future wealthy self exists as a real aspect of your multidimensional being, accessible through specific sleep states where linear time dissolves and you can commune directly with this successful version of yourself. The transformation occurs because this isn't imagination or wishful thinking. It's actual communication with the part of you that has already navigated the path to financial freedom. The impact extends far beyond typical visualization work into receiving genuine guidance that you couldn't generate through normal conscious analysis. People who master this future self-connection report receiving detailed business strategies, specific investment advice, relationship guidance, and step-by-step action plans that lead directly to the success their future self has already achieved. It's like having access to the ultimate mentor who knows your exact path to wealth because they've already walked it. A technology executive named Jonathan shared how his connection with his wealthy future self provided the exact information needed to launch a startup that generated millions in revenue. During a particularly vivid dream state meeting, his future self revealed a market opportunity that wouldn't become obvious for several months, along with the precise timing and partnerships needed to capitalize on this emerging trend. The journey of mastering this connection requires understanding that your future self represents not just financial success, but the integrated wisdom and consciousness that naturally creates and maintains abundance. When you commune with this aspect of yourself during sleep, you're downloading not just information, but the actual mindset patterns and energetic frequency that generates wealth effortlessly. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that each connection session builds upon the previous ones, creating what Jonathan discovered during his most successful period: prosperity, momentum, sleep, building. This technique transforms your nightly abundance practices from isolated events into a compound effect that accelerates wealth manifestation exponentially with each passing night. The transformation happens because momentum in consciousness operates similarly to momentum in physics. Each force applied in the same direction adds to the previous force, creating acceleration that eventually becomes unstoppable. When you consistently apply prosperity programming during sleep, each session strengthens and amplifies the effects of all previous sessions, creating a cumulative power that reaches what successful manifestors describe as critical mass. Behind the scenes of every dramatic financial breakthrough lies a period of sustained momentum building, where the person consistently applied abundance techniques until reaching a tipping point where manifestation became automatic. The hidden truth is that most people give up before reaching this critical mass, never experiencing the exponential acceleration that occurs when momentum reaches sufficient intensity. The impact extends beyond individual practices into a fundamental shift in your relationship with abundance itself. Instead of hoping for financial success or working toward it with uncertainty, you begin operating with the confidence of someone who knows their prosperity is inevitable because they can feel the unstoppable momentum building night after night. The specific method involves treating each sleep session as both an individual practice and a contribution to an ever-growing energetic momentum. Your future self-connection provides the guidance and direction, while the consistent application creates the cumulative force that transforms possibility into inevitability. Each night you can literally feel the momentum building as your abundance practices compound and amplify. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from sustained momentum building reflect this exponential acceleration. Instead of gradual progress, people report sudden quantum leaps in financial circumstances, rapid succession of breakthrough opportunities, and what can only be described as abundance avalanches where success builds upon success with increasing speed and magnitude. Now, I want to reveal the most advanced techniques for maximizing this momentum-building effect and how to recognize when you've reached the critical mass point where your wealth manifestation becomes completely automatic and unstoppable. The critical mass point, where wealth manifestation becomes automatic and unstoppable, reveals itself through a phenomenon that Jonathan discovered during his breakthrough period: the ability to recognize when your prosperity momentum has reached sufficient intensity to override years of limiting programming. This transformation occurs through what he called money memory bank programming, a technique that overwrites poverty consciousness with wealth programming by installing new memories of abundance directly into your subconscious during the vulnerable state of falling asleep. Behind the scenes of this memory programming lies a profound understanding about how your subconscious mind operates. Every decision you make about money, every opportunity you recognize or ignore, every financial risk you take or avoid, stems from your accumulated memories and experiences with wealth and scarcity. When you deliberately install memories of financial success, abundance, and prosperity into your subconscious memory bank, you're literally changing the database your mind uses to make all future financial decisions. The impact extends far beyond simple visualization into actual neurological rewiring. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly experienced imagined memory and an actual historical event when the imagined experience is accompanied by genuine emotion and specific sensory details. When you program your memory bank with images and feelings of abundance before sleep, you're installing reference experiences that create automatic prosperity-seeking behavior without conscious effort or willpower. A financial advisor named Catherine discovered this principle during her transformation from struggling consultant to multi-millionaire wealth manager. Every night before sleep, she would install new memories of successful client meetings, profitable investments, and abundant lifestyle experiences. These weren't fantasies. They were detailed memory installations that included sounds, textures, emotions, and even specific conversations that felt completely real to her subconscious mind. The journey of mastering this memory programming requires understanding that your current financial behavior stems entirely from your accumulated memories of how money works, what's possible for someone like you, and what you deserve to receive. When you systematically install new memories of financial success and abundance, your automatic responses begin shifting to match these new reference experiences rather than old patterns of limitation. The revelations become even more profound when combined with what Catherine called the financial breakthrough sleep invitation, a practice that invites major financial breakthroughs through specific sleep intentions and complete surrender to possibilities beyond your conscious imagination and planning. This technique works by releasing the need to control how abundance manifests while maintaining crystal clear intention about what you desire to experience. The transformation happens because most people unconsciously limit their wealth manifestation by insisting that abundance come through predictable channels or familiar methods. When you invite financial breakthroughs while surrendering attachment to how they arrive, you open yourself to receive abundance through avenues that your conscious mind could never anticipate or arrange. This creates space for what successful people often describe as miraculous opportunities that seem to appear from nowhere. Behind the scenes of every dramatic financial breakthrough lies a moment of surrendering control while maintaining unwavering faith in the outcome. Catherine discovered that her most profitable opportunities came not through her strategic planning, but through unexpected connections, surprising invitations, and synchronistic events that occurred only after she learned to invite breakthroughs while releasing attachment to their specific form. The impact extends into a fundamental shift in how opportunities present themselves in your life. Instead of struggling to force specific outcomes or working harder to create particular results, you begin operating with the relaxed confidence of someone who knows that abundance is constantly seeking ways to flow into their experience. This surrender, paradoxically, increases your manifestation power by removing the energetic resistance that typically blocks breakthrough opportunities. The decisions and opportunities that emerge from this invitation and surrender practice reflect a remarkable expansion beyond what you thought was possible for your situation. People report receiving business opportunities they never would have imagined, meeting connections that transform their entire career trajectory, and discovering income streams that align perfectly with their skills and passions in ways that feel both surprising and inevitable. Now, I want to explore the most advanced aspect of this breakthrough invitation practice and how it combines with memory programming to create what enlightened wealth masters call the ultimate manifestation state. a consciousness where abundance flows through you as naturally as breath. The ultimate manifestation state, where abundance flows as naturally as breath, becomes achievable through what Catherine discovered during her most transformative period, the integration of every technique into what she called the wealth activation sleep ceremony. This represents the culmination of all prosperity programming practices combined into one powerful nightly ritual that becomes your direct line to universal abundance and financial manifestation. Behind the scenes of every person who achieves extraordinary wealth lies a period of disciplined practice where multiple techniques are woven together into a coherent system that operates with maximum efficiency and power. The transformation occurs because individual techniques, while effective, create exponential results when combined in the precise sequence and timing that Catherine developed through years of experimentation and refinement. The impact extends far beyond the sum of individual practices into a synergistic effect where each element amplifies and accelerates all others. When the golden thread meditation enhances the dream vault visualization, which strengthens the ancestral connection work, which amplifies the gratitude programming, the combined effect creates what successful manifestors describe as a wealth vortex that draws abundance from all directions simultaneously. A venture capitalist named Alexander shared how he discovered that his most profitable investment decisions and business breakthroughs occurred during periods when he consistently performed this integrated ceremony every night without exception. The combination of techniques created what he described as a manifestation momentum that built night after night until reaching a critical mass where opportunities began appearing faster than he could pursue them. The journey of mastering this ultimate ceremony requires understanding that the sequence and timing of each element matters as much as the individual techniques themselves. The ceremony begins with environmental preparation, moves through energetic alignment practices, incorporates both programming and clearing work, and culminates in the surrender practices that invite breakthroughs beyond conscious planning. The revelations become even more profound when you realize that the ceremony's true power emerges not just during sleep, but through what Alexander called prosperity integration and awakening. The ability to carry the wealth consciousness cultivated during sleep into your waking hours, ensuring that your abundance programming translates into real-world financial success and lasting prosperity. The transformation happens because most people unconsciously separate their spiritual or mental practices from their practical business activities, creating an energetic split that limits manifestation effectiveness. When you learn to maintain the same abundance frequency during waking hours that you cultivate during sleep, you create what enlightened wealth masters call seamless prosperity consciousness, a state where wealth attraction becomes constant rather than intermittent. Behind the scenes of this integration work lies the understanding that your sleep programming creates the foundation, but your waking consciousness determines how effectively this programming translates into physical results. Alexander developed specific practices for maintaining his overnight abundance frequency throughout the day, creating continuity between his sleep manifestation work and his business activities. The impact extends into fundamental changes in how you perceive and respond to opportunities during waking hours. Instead of the typical pattern where abundance consciousness fades throughout the day and requires nightly restoration, you begin operating with consistent wealth magnetism that draws opportunities continuously rather than in sporadic bursts. The decisions and actions that emerge from this integrated approach reflect a remarkable coherence between inner programming and outer expression. People report making business decisions with the same confidence and clarity they experience during their most powerful sleep programming sessions, maintaining abundance mindset during challenging situations, and attracting opportunities with the same effortless magnetism they feel during their nightly ceremonies. The specific integration practices involve carrying the emotional frequency generated during sleep into meetings, conversations, and decision-making moments throughout the day. You learn to access the same prosperity consciousness while negotiating contracts that you experience while programming abundance during sleep, creating alignment between your inner wealth consciousness and your external financial activities. Now, I want to reveal the most advanced integration techniques that ensure your nightly ceremony creates lasting transformation rather than temporary states, and how to recognize when your abundance programming has reached the level of permanent installation rather than requiring ongoing reinforcement. The permanent installation I mentioned represents the ultimate goal of this entire journey, reaching a state where abundance programming operates automatically, requiring no conscious effort or ongoing reinforcement. When you achieve this level of integration, wealth consciousness becomes as natural and effortless as your heartbeat, operating continuously in the background of your awareness. The transformation completes itself when you realize that everything we've explored tonight isn't just about techniques or practices. It's about remembering who you truly are beneath all the conditioning and limitations that convinced you wealth was difficult or reserved for others. These ancient secrets were never really secrets at all, but natural capacities that every human being possesses when they learn to align their sleep consciousness with the infinite abundance that surrounds us always. Your journey with these revelations has only just begun. The practices we've shared represent doorways into dimensions of prosperity consciousness that most people never discover, yet they've been available to anyone willing to explore the mysterious relationship between sleep, dreams, and wealth manifestation. What you do with this knowledge in the coming nights will determine whether these remain interesting concepts or become the foundation for extraordinary financial transformation. If you've stayed with me through this entire exploration, you understand that you're not here by accident. Something within you recognizes the truth in these teachings and feels ready to step into the abundant life that's been waiting for your arrival. The fact that you're still here, absorbing these final words, tells me you're someone who's ready for real change rather than just information. I create content like this because I believe deeply in sharing wisdom that can genuinely transform lives, and your presence here tells me you value the same depth and authenticity. If these revelations have stirred something within you, I'd be honored to have you subscribe to this channel, where we continue exploring the hidden connections between consciousness and prosperity that most people never discover. Leave me a comment saying, "This message was meant for me," if you feel called to begin this practice tonight. I read every single comment, and there's something powerful about declaring your commitment to this path of abundant sleep consciousness. And if this journey resonated with your soul, a simple like helps this message reach others who are searching for the same transformations you're seeking. Together, we're part of something larger, a community of people awakening to their natural capacity for effortless abundance. There's a video right here that goes even deeper into the specific techniques for programming prosperity during your dream states. Click and continue with me over there, where we'll explore the advanced practices that accelerate everything you've learned tonight into tangible, measurable results in your financial reality. Your abundant life is calling. Answer tonight through the sacred gateway of sleep.